So let's quickly build the door and the bifold door handles. The bifold door handles are the easiest one. Let's start with those. So we will select this object, go select this here, Shift S, cursor to the center. So this is actually centered on the bottom part. And then we want the 3D cursor, for example, we can move up plus 3 feet. Tuck. So that is actually now the center where the knob would be. And we will do Shift A, cylinder. Then, well, it's a huge one. 64 is fine. Radius, we will do a radius of, oh, and don't make them too big, half of an inch. So it's 1 inch at the base. Very good. Depth, they shouldn't really stick out too much. 1 inch. Okay, what is wrong here? Oh, 0.5 inch. There. And then the rotation along Y, 90. Very good. Let's frame our object. I press the period on the keyboard, or you go here, frame selected. Move this out and move this back. Very good. So we have a 1 inch at the base and 1 inch at the top. If we want to style this a little bit, like for quick visual reference, Control R. Okay, select this, back to bounding box, S and 0.5. So we scaled this down actually 50%. And oh, what's happening? Oh, I have this here turned on. It simplified the geometry. So undo, turn this off, S 0.5. So we scaled it 50% down. Control R, there, slide this to here, and then move this maybe a little bit to there. And you see how we're actually shaping this part. Maybe this is too long, so I will turn on my edge length, and yeah, maybe like a 1/4 inch or so, 0.25. Yeah, okay, A, select Alt this, bring this back. How much is this? Yeah, cool. Okay. Bevel also here only along the sharp edges, maybe 2 millimeters. Does this object have a scale factor? No, it does not. Okay, 10. Good. Oh, it rounds actually at the base, which is not what we want. So we will go to edit mode, edge select, and select this, this, and this one. Bevel of 1, and then, okay, here, weight, zack. So this is better now. Right click in object mode, make it nice and smooth. And under mesh data, normals, turn on outer smooth, or we use now a quick favorite menu. Okay, yeah, so that was actually not that complicated to do it. We basically started with a cylinder and sculpted it out. I will show you a variation of how we could do this differently too. And this time we will do this via the screw modifier. We will use this as a reference. So Shift D and escape. Move this to there. First, actually, let's go back to here. We go to edit mode. Alt click the base, Shift S, cursor to selected. In object mode, right click and say put it onto there. That's important actually for what we're going to do. Here then the same. Shift S, Alt click this edge, Shift S, cursor to selected. In object mode, 3D cursor. And now we can select our base down here, Shift S. and then the 3D cursor should go up plus 3 feet. Or let's see how this actually works out in object mode. When we have this one and we turn on center on the edge. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really I can snap, but it's a mesh that goes through it. It does not the object center to there. So this process with the 3D cursor worked out really well. Selection to cursor. Okay, there we are. Okay, so let's zoom in. I will hide Shift H everything else, and then we will do the following. Shift A, we make a circle 32, let's say 64.5 of an inch. Very good. Then we're going to edit mode, move this over maybe to there. Can turn this off. So we kind of like have this idea of where this geometry is. And AA, C, we deselect all this, and then I will, here's the center, I will deselect all this, sorry, not deselect, select and delete. Select this one, E and X, snap actually here to the geometry, vertex, and then E and Y, I snap to there. This is important, because this is the midpoint, no? Okay. What's actually this distance? This is 0.35. So when I select these 2 points and then move them, oh, not the base point, 0.5, there we are, very good. Now I can select this one and move it a little bit to there, or keep it where it is. I will select this point and dissolve this for the moment, and then here at this point I will give a vertex value, because this point I would like to bevel. 2 millimeters. There we can see what 2 millimeters is. 10 segments. There you see. Whoop. Looks nice, but the shape is terrible. This is better. Okay, and then this, let's do a screw. It looks quite funny. It uses the Z direction, and we want the X direction. There we are. And then this we can delete. Interesting line going on there. That's because our normals need to have a fix. And there. And then here 64, so it's nice and round. There. For example, a different take on how this one could be created. So I will continue working with this because this is a simpler mesh. So Alt D, and I will make a copy over to here. And then I will, in object mode, I think, yeah, I can snap to this. Very good. And then the 3D cursor put up plus 3 feet. And then this one, Shift S, cursor to, did I say selection to cursor? Yep, very good. Alt D, and then I do the same thing here one more time. Snap to the middle point. Now I press Control. And here, plus 3 feet. Shift S, selection to cursor. Good. So now I have actually these objects centered and positioned. And why did I do this? I also used clones. Let me show you something. So That's actually the beauty of when we work with clones. All this mesh needs to be adjusted. Maybe this has to go longer. There. You see they all got updated. There's also a very effective way to work when you work with hardware or repetitive elements. We share the geometry and then it's just all the same. How could I say that? I edit one object and all the others are updated at the same time. Maybe I make the modifier tighter. I have to do the same here. So for this is my last one. Here I changed the modifier, Control L, and say link to the modifier. So all the changes are updated. Pretty cool, no? Another nice thing is I could Shift D and Shift D, Shift D, yeah, that's correct, Shift D. I'm making now on purpose actually variations. So I'm scaling this to there, and maybe here, scaling this smaller, just so you can understand what I'm doing. Maybe here. Maybe make this way. Okay. So you have these variations, and let's make a collection door knobs, and then zack, 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 zack. All those we will put M door knobs put in there. And then here we say templates. Obviously with the correct spelling. So this we will actually move into templates. And then you, and you. We also move into templates. We select this one, Shift S, cursor to select it. And then top view, bring this to there. Select this, Alt D, make a copy, Shift S, selection to cursor. You see, because they all have the object center point at the base, they all snap right into the position. So there, all those use the same geometry. I make another Shift D, another copy of this. So here are all my interesting variations. So how can I theme this now? Check this out. We go to here, and then we call this knob 1. And then we call this knob 2. This is knob 3. And this is knob 4. This is something different, since the geometry is a little bit changed. So think about this as components. We have here components, and they're all basically the same. So if I adjust one component, you see the other components updated. But what if from this component I would like to change all the stuff too? So here I have, this is called 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's say I select this and I go to here. This is now the mesh data. Type in knob. Oh, no, there's knob. Bang. Actually, this is now knob 2. So there, can select all those. Alt and say knob 2. Cylinder and knob 2. So you see how I'm actually switching everything out to a different object. So this is a little bit labor intensive to select each object. So I can select all my pieces I would like to change. And then let's say, how does everything look when we select this knob? And then I can go to make links. In the past, we did a few times make a link to the modifier, but I can also make a link to the material, or later later we do materials, or now object data. That's the mesh. Zack. And you see, they all got changed to this. What about we try this one out? Control L and object data. What about this one? Control L, object data. Yeah, and that's it, no? So this is our template, and this one here. Oh, what is, where does this one come from? Oh, this one I did not put into the template. There we are. Very good. So how do we now do our door? It's actually super easy. So we can do it this way. This is already at the correct height. Shift A, make myself a cylinder. So now we can decide with a ruler, ideally holding it our hand. When we touch something, it's maybe the distance 4 inches, so maybe 5 inches of a depth. So here we type in 5 inches. There. And then for the thickness, maybe an inch. So I have 5 thousandths here, so that is good. The rotation along X, make it 90, and Z also 90. Okay. Then we can go to a top view and bring this over. So there we are. Can select the door, Shift H, and then in top view, it's very easy to quickly model this. So how far do we want something to go out? So maybe kind of like 2 inches. So bring this to there. There, G, Y, and 2 inches. Yeah, but now again, we are in feet right now, so change this. We have to change this in and override this to 2 inches, otherwise by default, because our unit system uses feet, every number we type in is feet, or we go inches. Shift S, cursor to the selected. Now, maybe again, let's make another cylinder. So this is maybe depth 0.5 of an inch. The radius 1.5 inch. The rotation, or 1 inch. No, 1.5 inch. And then the rotation, here we can set this as X90. Very good. Bring this down. Oh, that's the reason why my snapping was a little bit funny. You see how it snaps actually to corner points? That's the that's the mesh the bevel modifier generates, so be careful there. And we can select this one. Here, maybe we go a little bit to there. So this whole object is in inches, X, Y, and Z. Oh, this is rotated. So Control A, scale and rotation. So now it's easier for 5 inches. Let's make this. Yeah, 5 inches is fine. So we will do Shift D and escape, then R90 along Z. We make this a little bit smaller. Control A and scale, or rotation 2. Go into edit mode, Z and wireframe AA, select this, sync this in, kind of like to the center, AA. move this to there, and then in object mode, this whole piece we move over. But how do we line these two pieces up? Check this out. In edit mode, I select all the meshes here. Shift S, put my cursor to there. And if I want, 3D cursor to there. And then here, Shift S, selection to cursor, R along Z, 180, and there. Now this looks like a very sad exercise attempt. So select all those, shade smooth, go to here, hold Alt, click this. And you can use a rounding along just this edge. So mean bevel, okay. And get a bevel modifier, 2 millimeters. Only along the weighted part. 10 maybe. Very good. Here, we're going to make this actually a little bit interesting. So I will go to face select this, and then here I say 0.25. Okay. And then here I go and say 1. Go to bevel modifier and weight, and now I need to figure out what amount can I have here. And then there you see it's coming. I go to there, close 10. There we are. So this is nice and round. And here, because this has a quarter of this value, you see it's only rounded a little bit. Yeah. Or we could also say this is 1 and this is 1. And then we simply say maybe 4 millimeters. Not too much. Okay. Alt H. Very good. So where do we put this stuff to? So select 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're also already inside the doorknobs collection. Yeah. So there you see now there's something happening on the bifold door. So this makes sense. We can see this a little bit. Our body registers, not our body, our eyes register that it's a door. I can open it. It opens this way. Because where the handle is, that's not the axis of rotation. These are the cues we can create and give the viewer. We added a bevel modifier to each element to create the gap in between, simulating the actual gap, which would be much better. There's basically 1.5 inches on the top. The bottom has a lot more. Actually, here, come on, select this one. So 79. Oh, we did this already. Okay, good. I was just curious, does this slide on the ground? It does not. So we are actually really good. Can show our subfloor again. And yeah, so the modeling of the space with this basically is done. Save, always your best friend.